Hello everybody and welcome to Tiger Tales, a place where you'll find stories and fanfictions written and read to you by your host, me, Tai Tiger. Today we welcome a new story to the roster. Today we're diving into a interesting take on the world of Ben 10. What if Ben 10 died and the whole galaxy fell into a war? And what if the only person who could save them was Albedo? If you don't know who Albedo is, he is a Galvin, which is this grey matter alien race from Ben 10, and he tried to make his own version of the Omnitrix, and in the original cartoon, he ended up becoming a human form which looked just like Ben, but of white hair, and he's one of the recurring villains. He's actually one of my favourite characters, and I thought of this twisted storyline where Albedo is the main character. So, in a world without Ben Tennyson, they form a kind of like a Suicide Squad where Albedo is involved with a new Omnitrix. That being said, let's dive in with Albedo 10,000. Chapter 1, Fresh Air. Albedo sat there in his prison cell, eating chili fries. His human form, that looked like a mirrored copy of Ben Tennyson, but of white hair, was the only thing he saw, as the only thing in his cell other than the usual furniture was a mirror. His red jacket was placed on the bed. He sat there and sighed as he realised it had been in his cell for almost 8 years, making his teenage form something around 24 years of human age, even though his human form looked like the 16-year-old Ben Tennyson. It had been 4 years since the death of Ben Tennyson. Vilgax had killed him, alongside his cousin, but sadly the Omnitrix was destroyed. Albedo sat there eating when suddenly his cell door opened and a plumber walked in. "Hello, Albedo," the plumber said. "Do you have more chili fries?" Albedo asked. "No, you are needed in the assessment room now," the plumber told him. "Oh, really? And why is that?" Albedo asked with a cheeky grin. "I did not receive any details," the plumber told him. Albedo stood and grabbed his jacket, put it on, and held out his hands. The plumber handcuffed him. Then Albedo was led through the plumber's base. They walked into the assessment room, where Azimuth, the creator of the Omnitrix, stood on the table. "Well, hello, Azimuth, my old friend. What do I owe this small pleasure?" Albedo chuckled. "Albedo, stop your childish words. I need to talk to you," Azimuth barked. "Hurry up then, I have an order of fries coming," Albedo barked back. "The war against the Forever Knights, Undertown, and Ledger Domain is causing earth-shattering events, and that's not even talking about Vilgax. The plumbers are forging a team of special operatives to take down each faction, and finally rid of the planet of some of its grief. It's bad enough we cannot aid those plumbers fighting Vilgax's army," Azimuth told him. "Okay, so why are you telling me all this?" Albedo asked. "Well, I managed to make a new Omnitrix, and I need someone who has experience to wield it, to help the team, and you're the only person we know," Azimuth told him. "You are gonna trust me?" Albedo asked with a sinister grin. "I do not trust you, as for I believe you'll do anything for a chance to redeem yourself, though," Azimuth replied. "Haha, please, it's going to take more than that," Albedo chuckled. "Okay, fine. How's this?" Azimuth sighed and pressed a button on the table with his foot, and a hologram appeared showing a formula design. "You managed to figure it out," Albedo gasped. "Yes, I can give you your Galvin form," Azimuth admitted. "Fine, I'll be your little hero," Albedo growled. He knew for a fact that his ability to change into aliens got diminished when he got arrested and put in the prison cell due to Azimuth's scientific technology. "Good. Now please take a seat," Azimuth told him. Albedo did as he was told. Suddenly a plumber walked over to him and jabbed him a needle into his neck. Albedo jolted back as he felt something surge through his skin. "What gives, Azimuth?" Albedo snapped. "I don't trust you, Albedo, without the strongest device in the universe, let alone with it. We are just putting a tiny micro-detonator explosive into your neck. You make a wrong move, I'll press the button myself, Azimuth explained. Well played, Azimuth. Well played, Albedo muttered. Then a Sophia was placed in front of him on the table. It rolled open and the new Omnitrix was presented. Albedo looked at Azimuth with a slight grin, reached out and picked it up and strapped it to his wrist. The Omnitrix started glowing red. Oh, Azimuth, you know me too well. How did you know red was my colour? Albedo grinned. Now go meet your team, Azimuth demanded, ignoring Albedo's question. Albedo bowed his head and then was led out of the room. Once again, he was led through the base, and into the room with 5 other people. 4 of them was aliens. Albedo recognized all of their races from the set list in the Ultimatrix. The first one was a Petrosapien. Ben called his version Diamond Head. This particular Petrosapien was skinny and tall. He wore an all-black outfit. He had 2 thin shards of diamond poking out from his shoulder blades. The second one was a Methanosian. Ben called his version Swampfire. This one was a bulky one and had orange outlines around his head, which formed into a fringe that had a yellow streak on top. He had seeds growing from his forearms. The third one was a Necrophagian. Ben had called his Necrophagian Big Chill. This one was tall and lanky. His wings were folded over to form his cloak and hood. His colour scheme was the same as Ben's transformation. The fourth one was an Urbrian Peladrota. Ben had called his version Cannonbolt. This one was a female and her outer shell was sky blue. The rest of her was black and white like Ben's transformation. The fifth member was a human girl, black hair and a ponytail, a pair of brown rimmed glasses on her face. She had a red and black shirt with the sleeves rolled up and a pair of dark blue jeans with holes at the knees. She was reading a book which was floating in front of her, her eyes completely purple. Albedo sighed and sat down at the empty table. Everyone was silent, ignoring each other. A few moments passed when another plumber walked in. Everyone stood and formed a line. When I call your name, please identify that you are present, the plumber called out. Daisy, the plumber called out. Here, the human witch said. Shards, the plumber called out. Here, the Petrosapien sighed. Roots, the plumber called out. Here, the Methanosian said. Blizz, the plumber called out. Here, the Necrophagian muttered. And bounce, the plumber called out. Here, the sky blue Cannonbolt said. And Albedo, the plumber sighed. Here, Albedo sighed back. Everyone looked at Albedo. He knew that they knew who he was. He was the guy who tried to take over Ben 10's place, the one who wielded the Ultimatrix first, the one who tried to run his own Ben 10 play, the Galvin stuck in human form, spending the last few years in a prison cell. Team, we have our first mission. The Frevenites have captured some Kraho villagers, kidnapped in a random location. To the Undertown bounty hunters, unknown whereabouts. But the Kraho are peaceful villagers who live peacefully. They are nothing to do with this. They live underground due to their bodies being prone to heat. They were taken a few nights ago, the plumber told them, placing several surveillance pictures on the table. The 6 of them all surrounded and glanced at the pictures. The plumbers have a teleportation spot a few clicks in the forest, where you will break into the castle and save the Kraho prisoners. Then bring them to these coordinates and we will teleport you and the Kraho to the base. Then we can manage a way to get them home, the plumber explained. Why not use actual plumber scouts? We just passed our exams, Daisy asked. Other than him, Shards chuckled, nodding his head toward Albedo. Yes, make your mockery quotes now. When I am saving your ass, you'll be thanking me. Albedo grinned. Easy now, we need this team alive. Our soldiers are fighting a war with Vilgax and his followers. You are all we have, the plumber sighed. Let's just get this over with, Bounce chuckled. The team all walked out of the room and was led into a massive room with a teleportation pad. Azimuth stood on the table with a few scientists and plumber soldiers. Thank you, team, for doing this for all of us, Azimuth nodded, as the team handed all of them communication links. Alright guys, the teleportation is almost up and running, a small voice said from underneath the teleportation pad. Albedo, if you keep the team alive and do these missions for us, then I will keep my end of the bargain." Azimuth nodded. "I will see you do, Azimuth." Albedo chuckled. He looked at his Omnitrix. "How many aliens do I have access to, anyway?" Albedo asked Azimuth. "All of them. From all of the multiverse," Azimuth muttered. "Oh, splendid," Albedo sneered. Suddenly, a small humming burst forth from the pad, and it started to glow. The 6 newly found teammates all stepped onto the pad, and a beam of green light surrounded them. "We have knocked out the communication tower. You have about 2 hours before they can install it back to working order. Make sure you get the mission done. Get in and get out. If you bring the Karaho back safely, we are hoping the Undertown will at least be willing to open communications with us once again," Azimuth told them. "Good luck, team," the plumber soldier saluted. Then the 6 teammates teleported away and appeared in the snowy forests. "Great, it's cold," Root sighed. Fresh air," Albedo sighed pleasantly with a deep take of oxygen. He looked around at the dull, dead trunks of the trees, the thick blanket of snow, the dark, clear sky filled with stars. "Yo, prison boy, let's go," Bounce snapped. "Oh, please, ain't gonna help us," Shards muttered. Suddenly, Albedo saw something in the bushes move. It was silver and shiny, not animalistic or plant-like. Albedo pressed the Omnitrix. As the holographic ring appeared, he held his 2 fingers down till the circle came to a sudden stop when he found his alien of choice. The plate slid back and the Albedo slammed his hand on the Omnitrix. "Accelerate!" he growled. Then Accelerate bolted forward. He smashed into the hidden knight, and with a quick throw, the knight crashed out of the bush and crashed into the ground. Snow exploded upward. The knight stood up, but the blur of black and blue bolted past and punched the knight in the face. He spun around and dropped to the floor unconscious. Accelerate stopped, and in a flash of red, he transformed back into Albedo's human form. "First off, it's like I never lost it. Second of all, why on earth did I aid in Ben's delusion of naming his aliens? And thirdly, I am here to help," Albedo said with a slight grin. The whole team stood there in awe. "Okay, fine, but can we get moving?" Root snapped. Albedo walked on ahead. His team slowly followed, as they made their way up to the castle that laid dead ahead. And there we have it, guys. The first chapter of Albedo 10,000. This is going to be an ongoing storyline, which I'm very much looking forward to. I'm playing with a character that already exists, but in this sort of concept, I can pretty much do whatever I want with them. Kind of reminds me of the Ultra Rangers from Cosplay Dude's Power Rangers Universe 19 podcast, which you should really check out, as he's my Parabatai and one of the core members of the 3 Ranger Bros. But I'm also playing with new characters as well at the same time, blending them in with an already existing character. So don't forget to check out our 3rd member, which is Mark, the Red Corner Ranger with Nurture Comics, and he's adapting comic books into audio dramas and uploading his own story. We are in association with Zero to Hero, a podcast where Billy and Jim, the Balkan School of Podcasting, talk about all sorts of fandoms, and I think you'll find something for everyone on their podcast. So go check out everyone I just mentioned. That being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I shall see you guys really soon.